do and hear.
When you return that money, you hear the message.
Whatever is not yours, even if you kill yourself, it will not come. That's my opinion.
So do share the facts on Hard Fact.
Hard Fact.
Hard Fact. 3 to 6 p.m. Live on 95.1 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.
This is Hard Facts.
Hard Facts.
Hard Facts.
On 95.1 Nigeria Info.
All right, welcome to Hard Facts. I know this is not a normal voice or the normal voice on Hard Facts, but permit me to be with you from today till about Wednesday or thereabout because Sami is, of course, taking her leave, well deserved, and Gabriel is indisposed at the moment to be here, so I am taking charge of this belt from now till 7 o'clock. We will be together looking through the news, starting with the big three stories, as is usual on this very belt. And then we will also take on Office of the Citizen at some point in time on the show. And we would also take eyewitness or situation report, as the case may be. I welcome you on board. Thank you so much for joining us. It's still the same station. It's 95.1 Nigeria Info, your passionate, trustworthy, and conversational station. And we'll be starting with some of the most interesting conversation, looking at the top three stories this evening. There are so many stories, but we'll be picking out the three main stories and, having a conversation around that. Hopefully, Mazi joins me. Mazi James Okorafor is to be my guest while, as we look through the story. So I've been, tactically waiting for him to come in. He called in and said he's on his way. But taking a look at the stories, let me just give you an overall headlines that we have on some of the newspapers before he walks in, and then we get to start with the stories to be taken. Outside Nigeria, you have stories that point to the fact that winter storm kills at least 11 across the U.S. I saw a story over the weekend that snow is actually going to get to an all high and may even envelope and cover some towns in the U.S. So having to see the story now is not surprising, but it's quite tragic to see that 11 people have had to lose their life because of winter storm. Okay, moving away from there, twin Abrahams over Sabi Auntie grosses $1 billion at the box office. Shows you how well Nigerian movies are doing at the moment. I remember House of Judah for Funke Akindele that also grossed about $1 billion. Hopefully, we will be counting in billions very, very soon. Looking at Nigerian producers, directors putting together their creations on the screen, and it's actually breaking the bank. So congratulations to Twin Abraham. Oyo begins Golden Jubilee celebration. Experts link football heading to progressive brain disease. Wow. Police and PSC extend recruitment deadline over low applications from Lagos and others. I'm wondering why that is so. But then still to some news on the police. Police bust teen drug suspect and kidnap gang. I'll take that again. Police bust teen drug suspect and kidnap gang. NNPC confirms successful new oil well discovery. Discourse rejects federal government's free meter plan. You would wonder why. Why are they rejecting the federal government's free meter plan? I remember some months back when my respected senior uncle and colleague, Ben Okeze, called me and was complaining about how he loaded a setting amount on his meter and then they just took it away. And then when he called ADC and was complaining about it, they said, well, that is to recoup the money that was actually on the meter when he first bought it. And this is a meter that has been around for some couple of years, and he was really angry. I remember Chima Edika also had the same complaint about that. And when the government actually rolled out the plan, or actually, mentioned the fact that there would be a proposal for free metering all across, you'd wonder why that is. Maybe revenue, they're looking at revenue, and that is going to eat deep into the pockets or whatever it is. But hey, I think Nigerians need this. I mean, the least that can be given is free meters, right? Because people pay a whole lot for electricity in this country. Let's leave that and look at other headlines. NDLEA intercepts Brazilian lady with 3 billion naira heroin at Abuja airport. Minority caucus house clash over tax law probe. Interesting. Okay, Ogoni Monarch escapes assassins' bullets. Okay, and sachet alcohol ban. Consumer rights advocates protest at NAFDAC Lagos office. Magbo welcomes President Tinubu to Turkey. APC flags hoisted at Kano Government House. I mean, after that defection, you would expect that the APC flag would now be flying high at the Kano Government House, and that is what the case is. Recruitment, PSC, Nigeria Police Force extend deadline for application. Custom generates 7 trillion naira revenue in 2025, according to the CGC Adeni and Ebonyi PDP zonal vice chairman, and 5,000 supporters defect to ADC. Well, I think 2027 is going to be quite dramatic for us in Nigeria in terms of the APC and ADC. And the thing for me is that the acronyms sound so much alike, and I hope people just don't get confused. APC, ADC, I don't know where PDP is in the equation, but we get to talk about that in a bit. Angry workers chase Wike's motorcade. We'll be discussing that in a bit. Tampering with Tinubu Shetima ticket will be APC's biggest mistake, says Professor Yerima. London property AGF takes over Ojekome's case. And NMPP flags pull down as APC takes over government house in Kano. All right, so yes, I just thought to waltz through this while buying time to wait for Mazi. But with the way it's looking, I guess we will just start off with the stories, the top 3 stories, and he would join in at any point in time. Okay, let's start with this very interesting conversation, or this headline that talks about let's start with after governor's exit, 21 Kano lawmakers follow Abba Yusuf to APC. Now, over the course of time, we have heard rumors, and once a rumor comes to the fore like that, I mean, you should expect that there should be an element of truth to it. I mean, that's one thing I've come to realize with rumors over time, right? That no rumor is just standing on its own. It must hinge from some sort of truth. And so when the rumor came to the fore that Abba Negidagida is going to defect to APC, people were denying it and all. And I remember when, Tinubu Pekin called in, I was trying to explain the power dynamics attached to the reason, or he attached that to the reason why Abba Yusuf was going to defect from NNPP to the APC. I mean, they don't want to be left behind, according to him. And so anything that would ensure that you stay close to the federal, and also you have some sort of protection and power does not slip out of your hand. Because, I mean, he said prior to now that there was a rumor that I think the Speaker of the House of Reps is supposed to have been the candidate of APC, and you know how the federal might will be behind that. But one thing again I know about the Kano people is that they are very independent, and like Tinubu Pekin said the other day, Kano politics is very dynamic. It's very unique in its own sense, right? I mean, the last 2023 election, people were going for LP, APC, and PDP in some quarters and all of that. And then from the blues, we saw how Kano people just felt, look, we don't want APC no more. We're going to go with something different. And then NNPC, boom, came to the fore. And that is how Abba Yusuf came as the governor. So I'm wondering what actually changed, right? I mean, because if you can defy all the hullabaloo and all the noise and all the image that APC put out there during the 2023 elections, and you were able to sustain the tempo with NNPP, then I wonder what happened. What changed? Could it be that indeed he was really afraid of losing power to someone who would be supported by Mr. President in 2024? Because, of course, if you are under the APC, you should expect that the president would give you that. But I know, like I said, the Kano people have their own mind and they play their own type of politics with their own terms and all. Okay, so looking at this story, after governor's exit, 21 Kano lawmakers follow Abba Yusuf to APC. And this is the story very briefly. 21 members of the Kano State House of Assembly have defected from the New Nigeria People Party, NNPP, to the APC, marking a major political realignment in the state. The lawmakers announced their decision on Monday, coming shortly after Governor Abba Yusuf formally resigned from the NNPP following his recent visit to President Bola Tinubu at the State House in Abuja. In his resignation letter to the chairman of the Disco Chiranchi ward in Gwale local government area, Yusuf blamed his exit on what he described as deepening internal crisis and prolonged leadership disputes within the party. The governor's defection was carried out alongside 21 state lawmakers, 8 members of the House of Representatives, and all 44 local government chairmen across Kano State. Key figures among the defectors include the Speaker of the House, that is Jibril Ismail Falgore Rogo, and the Deputy Speaker Muhammad Bello Butu from Tofa Riming Gado. Also leaving the NNPP are the Majority Leader Lawan Hussein from Dala, Deputy Majority Leader Garba Shehu Famar from Kibia, and the Chief Whip Mudassir Ibrahim Zawachiki from Kumboto. Other lawmakers who joined the APC include Zakaria Abdullahi and so on and so on. The list is quite long. That is talking about the lawmakers in the state. Reacting to Governor Yusuf's defection, the national leader of the NNPP, Rabiu Kwankwaso, described the development as a betrayal and declared January 23rd as World Betrayal Day. Kwankwaso was instrumental in Yusuf's emergence as Kano governor in the 2023 election through the Kwankwasia or the Kwankwasia political movement. I mean, you know how very powerful Kwankwaso is as a political figure in Kano State, and his influence, is what contributed, and many attributed that, to the coming of Abba Gida Gida. Having been governor himself, of course, there's no way he could have thought of Ganduje. Ganduje was his deputy, remember? And then somehow there was this political dynamics that happened, and somehow the Ganduje defected and, joined the APC, and then somehow he became governor, and it was a raging war between Kwankwaso and Ganduje. And somehow, I guess, just to prove a point, Abba Yusuf came up on board with the help of Kwankwaso. So, I mean, when the news of Abba Yusuf wanting to defect to the APC came up on board, some people, there were different theories flying up and down about this defection. In fact, some people actually said that his political godfather, talking about Kwankwaso, must be the one who is leading the train, even though Kwankwaso doesn't want to come out openly and show that he is most likely defecting to APC. While other people actually said, no, it is not true, that Kwankwaso is still in the NNPP and it's not going anywhere. And so what Abba Yusuf is doing or is going to do would be tantamount to betraying, the one that has actually brought him to where he is. But, looking at Rivers, trying to compare what is happening in Rivers with Kano, I saw how Abba Yusuf was warning people not to go out on social media or say anything wrong about his political godfather, who is Kwankwaso. So you can still perceive some sense of respect, some sense of reverence. And also there was a theory that said, well, he met Kwankwaso and he actually told him, okay, well, you can go ahead if you insist, based on the reasons presented. So whatever the truth of the story is, this is where we are in that season where we're seeing lots and lots of governors across Nigeria defecting and coming on into the APC, the ruling party. Some people say, would you blame them? I mean, everybody wants to align to the center, right? And some people will say, well, that's not how it should be. We're sliding dangerously into a one-party system. Some people call it state capture. Whatever it is, Mazi is here, and I'm grateful that he is here. So, yes, you will help me with your own thoughts on this. Mazi, good afternoon. How are you doing?
Good afternoon, Swat.
How are you?
I'm doing fine. Sorry.
It's okay.
There's a VIP movement.
I can imagine. I mean, things we have to...
Yeah, Kano politics is...
Nagidagda is now an APC.
Yeah, you see, when NIPP started, there's a dance, the Makaba dance. I knew definitely that he's going to cross. You know, every politician is looking at the next term survival, especially where you have the first 4 years and the next 4 years.
Yes.
So you look for dynamics that can preserve your political. You know, I all once quoted say, principles are non-negotiable, but ways to arrive at achieve political positions are negotiable, but principles are non-negotiable. So I think that everybody is looking for the survival. And if I can ride on you to come my first time, and I see that it's no other way I can sustain my administration than to play the ball.
But,
so you
see, what has actually changed in this dispensation? That's the question I keep asking. I mean, because once upon a time in Nigeria, we had a Nigeria where you had whether ANPP, PDP, all the other political, and it was interesting to see lots of political parties like you contest and you win based on your popularity and acceptance, not necessarily what we are actually experiencing, where it looks like Nigeria is going to
one party system. You see, the thing is, people call themselves Democrats, but the question is, do we have the political democratic ethos? Now we're looking at the marker. When I was in Boys Brigade those days, they say, watch your marker. Sorry,
let's quickly take this commercial, then you now continue your thoughts. Do stay with us. It's 95.1.
More conversation, more talk, more right after this.
The only way they can perpetuate themselves in power is the bandwagon. And it's happening. You could just imagine from Plateau State till Akwa Ibom. Just look at it. It's just that one state is still there. Maybe Abia State has not made up his mind to move to the next thing. So, but the problem is that they also forget that it's not the governors that are voting. It's if actually the people are voting. So one man joining the other, the bandwagon, does not necessarily mean that the state has been captured. I mean, but except there's other way we don't understand.
From the way we play politics, I mean, it's often said that the governor has the state apparatus and so can influence anything. Over the years.
But that's why I say, are we really practicing democracy? If only one man's decision can affect the vote, because you can't tell me that everybody agree with everything. So there must be people who will say we don't agree, and those who say we agree.
Exactly.
So if the state if you calculate the governor, his commissioners, and his National Assembly members, they're no more than the number of the people in the state. So if the people are not getting the dividends of democracy, and because the governor has cross-carpeted, so the whole state will now automatically move their votes. So it's something we need to study in psychology.
Honestly, I totally agree with you. I mean, because at the end of the day, you want to ask the question, is it about governance? Is it about dividends of democracy? Is it about acceptability and popularity with the people that determines, the next election year? Or is it about just moving to the next party because the president is also part of that party?
See, that's why I said that people are following what happened in a particular state when the marker was in that state. And now it's like, that's what everybody practices, because it's like when you come into the party in the central, you are sure of your second tenure. And because of you're sure of your second tenure, your deputy, because we've had a situation where the governor, moves to a new party, and the deputy say, no, I want to remain in the old party.
Yes, we've seen
the
that.
House of Assembly remain in the old party. But now is that the governor, the deputy governor, the whole state
legislators
join the bandwagon, and they are sure of their next tenure.
So increasingly, Bazi, I would be right to say, or just tell me, Nigerian politics is shifting from governance to politics, like only about interest of the politicians, the politically exposed people. It seems to be all about them, because looking at the way it's going, they are also thinking about themselves, their second tenure or their second term in office, and nothing about the people.
You see, it's a political hegemony of dynasty, because it's no more that democracy, the government of the people, by the people, for the people. It is a government of a particular set of people who capture states. And if you believe in what they do and agree with them, you become part of it. And that's why I still question. See, Swat, the whole question is the people still the people that vote the government into place? That's the question everybody needs to answer. Because if you see the phenomenon where somebody is moving to the party in the central because he wants to get the second tenure, and it's a number of these are a number of people who do not even have, how would I even calculate it, of the total vote of the state? And it is like, sure banker that I'm coming back. So the question is the people still voting people into power? Or are we using state structures, or how they say it, political structures, to bring themselves back into power? So that's why you see what is happening. So it's like where people are supposed to sell themselves to the citizens, the community, the local government, the places where it matters. The people are benching on those in government who control the means, the security and everything to come back to power. So these are the questions Nigerians need to answer. And until we answer that question, then we know why people are jumping into the party of the central government.
I'm trying to look at countries, that have one party system working for them, and
except in a theocratic state.
Exactly, that's what I'm trying to say. What I noticed, the characteristics of most of these countries are not even democracy.
It's not democracy.
Like, okay, so for example, we're talking about the Republic of Korea, North Korea.
You talk about Iran.
Yes.
Then the
Republic of China, Republic of Cuba. And when you are talking of democracy, you don't even mention countries like this.
States, and
these are communist states.
Theocratic states, or states that
very autocratic in nature.
But if you talk about democracy, like if you look at the Knesset in Israel, you discover that in a 1 year, anything can happen. A party can say, okay, we don't want the coalition, we are coaliting with another party. And in one year, you can have 7 government, 7 prime ministers have been produced. Same in the UK. This one can decide to go in alliance with that and change the government.
Exactly.
Everybody, you see, this goes back to what I've been saying. Our parties are not ideologically aligned. We just practice what has evolved to become personality. And the time Bill Clinton came to Nigeria, I said, Nigeria must learn to live the life out of individuality to institutions. So our political party has not gotten that institutional flair, that people now worship one individual and make him like as if whatever the person says is God. And that's why it looks like when those big gladiators arise, people begin to align to them, feeling that if we follow that person, everything
will be okay. You know, it reminds me of those movies that you see that people, when the king is entering, everybody stands up and all hail the king and stuff like that. I mean, there is a place for being loyal and all of that. But then the moment you begin to see the dynamics change, like it is happening in the country, then it gets people worried. What is happening to Nigerian democracy? What happened to how our fathers fought hard? I mean, you look back into the 1960s and 70s where you had different political parties with ideologies, and you know, it was so interesting
for coalition. For example, if I am, let's say I am APC, and there is maybe an accord party in the central. There's no need for me to abandon my APC.
Yes.
I will say, okay, I like what this party is doing. Can we go into alliance?
Yeah.
That I'll still preserve my APC and join you when we want to produce a central, maybe a central government candidate.
Yeah.
I will endorse you. I will say, okay, I will not bring anybody from APC party since they are called party president. There's a room for alliance, and that is where you have PRP, you have MPC, you have Action. All of them, they had to align to form a consensus to have a candidate who became prime minister, who became whatever, and they still retain who they were. And they never change from where their political ideology. But in this season where you cannot remember when somebody is APC or when somebody was PDP or now ADC or Labour Party, people are just that you can just see one person, you know, he has passed through all the political parties in this country. And you begin to wonder why, because that's it. I can't tell my little kids or I can't tell my students why you should be in one party. Because it's like, this party cannot produce the president. Let's drop it and go to the one that
will produce the president.
So that
okay. So, but what we're seeing happening in ADC, whereby you talked about how you just come for sort of coalition while still maintaining your party. We're seeing a semblance of that in ADC, or you don't think so?
I don't think so. It's still a coalition of state capture, because you see, the people who are joining it are looking at, okay, we don't have chance in APC. And PDP is not
the party. It doesn't look like it's right now.
Fight. Now, we had some sit-tight party chairmen like the likes of Aburis and the likes of whoever who are causing confusion about parallel structures. Now, let's go to where all of us can capture power. And don't be shocked in the next election. These people that are in ADC or wherever, you find them in another party.
I will not be shocked. I will not be surprised.
So that's why I'm saying, where will the bus stop? Because that's why we need to make legislation. And that's why you see, even our Electoral Act, we need to look at it. It's a problem. It's a decimal. It is one thing that we have not been able to check. If you change your party, can this person not handle any political position for at least a year before the next election? These are the kind of things, innovations we can bring in our law that make people to think twice before they join another party. Is it possible that if I'm now a governor and I decide to change my party, I have to resign as a governor and change my party? So that even when I want to contest next year, I should wait at least. Let me get acculturated with the philosophy and ethos of that political party before I take up a nomination form to vie for. If you bring all those kind of innovations in the law, people will stay put. People will solve their internal dispute. Because why is like a husband and wife that every time that the wife asks for money for soup and there's no money, they fight, the wife leaves the husband and marries another man. So that's what it is.
Exactly.
So but if you see, even in divorce cases as a lawyer, you discover that a judge tries as much as possible to keep the couples together. It's only where there's irreconcilable differences that you will call for separation. So can we find a way to make it that people cannot leave the party they have chosen to be part of for some time? So until we begin to do that, then we begin to have sanity in parties. Because I begin to confuse. Swat, were you in APC? Were you in PDP? Were you in Labour Party? In everybody, one person has passed through all the party, and next year we're not guaranteed we will see identify this person. Look at their Balarabis. You know them, they are RPPs. You know that this person was a leftist. You know that this person was in a progressive. Look at the Nnamdi Azikiwe. Look at Akintolas and Awolowos. You knew this is when there's a if they say this is a party, you say this is the party this person would have been part of.
Yes.
Because their philosophy and life goal align with the political party they follow. But yeah, you see people just take party like they join New Jersey, like New Arsenal and Manchester and Chelsea.
Even Arsenal and Manchester
And
fans,
they have diehard.
they are diehard. Though. Go and ask Arsenal fans; they'll tell you about
I'm
it.
wondering people who have met you.
Anyway, somewhere in Ebonyi State, too, PDP zonal vice chairman and 5,000 supporters also defect to ADC. I don't know what we can say about that, but this has become quite characteristics of the
Nigerian
politics.
And it's a recent phenomenon. It is not like this in the beginning.
It didn't used to be like that. I mean, there was
like
defection, but right now it's really becoming ridiculous.
In fact, you hear there's an alliance.
Yes.
Or you hear there's an alliance. The party still keeps its identity.
Yes.
But align with
it's just like what is this CPC?
It's CPC
did
and
with
ADC. Yeah.
Then ANPP and what was that coalition back then? All those kind of coalitions we had.
There
that.
were coalitions and the people still retain their identity.
Yes.
It's possible after the election they will still want to feed some positions, maybe in local governments, in state governments.
Yeah.
But in the sense that if you just collapse the whole structure, abandon the whole thing and move, then I'm asking, the people who feed a candidate is the political party, not the individual. So if I voted any person in office, I voted a party.
Yeah.
I've read the manifesto of the party and align with the philosophy and the ideology of that party. That's why not that I was given stomach infrastructure, but I voted because the party gave me assurance that this is what they would do when they enter office.
Exactly.
But the person enters the office, abandons the party, and join another party. So where is the promise? Can I judge that person as a sincere, as somebody who is truthful? Because he swore and said, I will take this philosophy this party have, this ideology of helping people, of doing this, of reducing the burden to the citizen. And that's why I voted him. And the person is leaving that party and joining another party, which I didn't vote into power. So this is something that the legislators, the National Assembly need to look at our Electoral Act and craft it in a way that...
They are equally culprits. So I doubt, because there are a lot of changes that we need to see in terms of the way things are happen in Nigeria. Typically, they'll give you an example of appointment of probably an INEC chairman, even judges, the way they are appointed, and a lot of things that are really not going on so well in our democracy, that if changes are brought in, it will help us sustain a good democracy. But we see the reluctance because these people are beneficiaries until when they leave office, then they become activists and start canvassing for the things that they had opportunity to do and they did not do it.
It begs the question I have asked: who brings these people to the office? Is it the people, or they perpetuate themselves in power? That's because democracy is about the will of the people. If the people say, okay, we don't want this political jumpology, can you bring it in our law? We brought you as people because the idea of representative government is that the whole 200 and something million Nigerians cannot make decisions. They can't enter one room and make decisions. So we decided to nominate people to go on our behalf and make decisions for us. That is a social contract. When you enter there, you should come back and ask us, constituents, is this what you want? What do you want? I tell you, okay, I don't like the idea that I voted for a candidate because he has this ideology presented by his political party. And he gets in there, and because of he wants to stay in office, he jumps from that political ideology, which I subscribe, that brought him into power, and into another one. And that one which I don't even know. Is there any way you can make this person, when he jumps, he forfeits the office, another person who represents that ideology continue? Because in our constitution, we don't recognize individual candidates. What we recognize is political parties. And political parties is the one that feed candidates. And when I vote for political party. That's the idea. But we have made it look so individualistic that it's the individual, not even the political party, that is so. Even the individual, after he gets office, does not even come back to consult with the political party. And now the question is, are we really, really bringing people to the office of the citizen?
Yeah.
Or are the people manipulating, muscling their way to power and keeping AK laws, leaving obsolete laws that does not rhyme with the time and season and that is repugnant to natural justice?
Indeed. Good question. Very quickly before we move to the next story, what would you say about the relationship between Abba Yusuf and Kwankwaso? Kwankwaso has said that 23rd should be
Is it
declared.
as a
It's well
betrayal?
betrayal.
But it should happen. It should happen. You see, what happened with Wike and Fubara is a lesson. In fact, before now, we've seen where people bring protege and thinking that they will be godfather for a while. See, every man, no man will want to play subservient. And that's the reality every political student should learn. That one day, the person you think is, Abak was his personal PA all through his political life, and say, okay, this is my trusted guy. Come and be governor. But you know, there's something about man after food, what? Self-recognition. It's Maslow's law. So apart from food, shelter, the next thing, I want to be recognized. I want to be a man of my own.
Yes.
So he has gotten into power, and the overbearing nature of Kwankwaso could be the reason why he has moved to get his own mandate.
Okay.
But I also want Yusuf to trade softly. Kano politics is a very interesting.
Very, very dynamic. It's very unique.
It's a plantain peel. It's a banana peel.
I'm telling you.
It's difficult to get a container. So anything can happen. So you can be shocked
at what happened in 2023.
Yeah.
You know, in the midst of the LP, PDP, Kano people decided to go with NNPP. So anything can happen. There's even no guarantee that, because he has joined APC right now. Because I remember their frustration with Ganduje, and I saw videos that time, they were just so very angry and wanted a change. And indeed, they went and got the change for themselves. So I don't know if this is some sort of shield for him or a guarantee, because Kano people,
they can do that. They can throw surprises.
They say whatever you come with in Kano, then pass you.
They pass you.
Whatever kind of politics, makers will Ampika.
See, I don't want to say anything, but I know that there is going to be a big surprise in Kano.
Exactly. Let's keep our fingers crossed and watch out for that. Tampering with the Tinubu-Shettima ticket will be APC's biggest mistake, says Professor Yerima. A chieftain of the ruling APC, that is Professor Haruna Yerima, has warned the ruling party against tampering with the Tinubu-Shettima presidential ticket for the 2027 general elections. In a statement he issued in Abuja on Sunday, the Don said those canvassing for a change of the present status quo are the same elements who fought tooth and nail against the Tinubu-Shettima ticket in 2023. He said, and I quote, "There is no gainsaying the fact that tampering with the Tinubu-Shettima presidential ticket would not augur well for APC in 2027 general election." That's the former House of Representative member. He said it's appalling that those who never believed the Tinubu-Shettima ticket would deliver victory in 2023 are now working round the clock to change it. They should be stopped now, else the ruling party would suffer its greatest defeat in 2027. Yerima said the advocates tinkering with the Tinubu-Shettima ticket by imposing a Christian from the North Central or Northwest zones are not just short-sighted, but are politically naive. So, that's from the grapevine. It started like a tiny rumor. When I heard it, I was like, my God. And right now, it's out there. They're actually saying that it's either Dogara, Christopher Musa, what do you say, Reverend Kuka,
or the Plateau State Governor.
Plateau State Governor. Yeah. All sort of names are just being peddled out there.
You see, there is a perception of Nigeria. And that's why allegedly they said Nigeria gave about $9 million for lobbying in the US.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you see, this Christian genocide, no Christian genocide thing has really, 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 really affected the present administration.
Mm-hmm.
And to really, really prove that Nigeria is not tilted to one side. And that's why the people who primed this country found a way. You think that during the 1966 that Murtala Mohammed couldn't have taken power and be the after Agu Ironsi? But those guys were smart, and they brought a young Christian Gowon and put him as the president, so that they don't see the war as a persecution of Christians. And it goes on when there was reconciliation, Shehu Shagari took Alex Ekweme as his VP. And if you look at that dynamics, there has always been that handshake across the Niger, and also the Christian-Muslim moderation stuff.
Exactly.
And that's why even when Buhari was being taken from a long spoon. From the Southern and Christian sensibility, they brought in Adolf Wangbara. They brought in what's his name again? Late Senate President too, and he has always taken Chuba Kadibo to balance it. Now, those Brazilians taking the Muslim, there's nothing wrong with it. It's a political calculation that worked, but with the current perception, I know there's pressure on the present government to prove that no, there is no marginalization, there's no any agenda. So, in politics, you can sacrifice anything. There's nothing wrong, there's nothing bad, but they have to make a concerted effort to show that this perception is not true. So there's the tendency, I said there's likelihood that the running mate might be a Northern Christian. There's tendency. I'm not saying I don't know, but it's also it's a PR.
So this has actually generated a lot of controversy. I was seated with some group of Northern Muslim friends the other day. We were talking, and they said that there's no way that this can be accepted in the North, right? That if you bring a Christian minority, that no one is that popular in the North, and that the Muslim majority would not even consider that sort of thing in Nigeria. But I also remember at the height of the Muslim ticket, how controversial and all of that. At the end of the day, it worked. Yeah. But like you said, we're in a very dicey position right now. And, moving forward, seriously, I mean, what would actually work?
But there's a flip side of it.
There's a flip side to it.
Yes. If they try that, then there will be a protest vote. And there's possibility if it gives the ADC an edge in a position
but
where...
ADC, I can be very sure it's going to be a Muslim Christian. You will not see a Muslim.
But the problem now is the principal candidate.
Who will be the principal candidate?
That is the diciness. So if there is this shake-off of choosing a new vice president from APC, maybe with the sensibility of bringing in a Muslim Christian candidacy, there will be a challenge if APC throw up a Muslim as the president's principal candidate. There will be a very protest vote.
ADC?
Yes.
You mean?
Yes, there will be possibility of a protest vote. So it's something that is delicate. It's something that political spinners and juggernauts need to really think seriously. So it's like doing an operation in a very delicate area. It's either they continue the way they are, or to show, because there are conditions. I don't want to go into conditions that have been given for there's a Maduro treatment now.
Yeah.
So imagine where election is conducted and the Nigerians do not agree, and something happened, and there can be Maduro treatment because it has been said. So, and there are some conditions which is not officially said, and we don't know what is the conditions, because there has been in the dialogue that has been give and take for people to pay out more, as allegedly said, paid almost 9 million for lobby. So you could imagine what they have told the parties to do for them to be acceptable and perceived as good government.
All right. Let's begin to see the comments before we take on the final story after the news. But for now, this one said, it's simply because our vote do not count. It's selection, not election, says Manzo. This one says 2023 election was not party matter. Believe it or leave history of 2023 or leave history of 2023 will repeat itself come 2027. The masses are more wise now. Politicians are like I don't want to use that word. People who move from up and down. They don't have permanent customers. Gideon from Gwagwalada. This one says, Madam Swat, for me, the defections or defectors want to trend. Very many of them risk re-election in 2027, and they don't know. A good example is Abba Yusuf of Kano State, who has just goofed the number of Konkwasia followers, the loyalists of the deposed Emir Bayero and Ganduje group, who some people are thinking Tinubu will be able to reconcile to work together, are large enough to unseat the governor. Madam Swat, the good thing I see in this mass exodus to the APC is that it will pave way for freshers to come into power in 2027. Just observe the defectors. More than 90% of them are already in power. They are just campering for where to save their career. which is a loophole. Okay, let me leave this message here. Israel is quite long, and we have so many of them to read. Triple D from Waru is sending this message, said on Governor Yusuf and Rabiu Musa is just a game plan. If Obi stroke Kwankwaso ticket cannot work in ADC, Kwankwaso will return to APC, and at the end of the day, he will be given a ministerial appointment. In another way round is equally good, so that at the end of the day, outgoing governors should allow people to vote their choice. Kano politics cannot be predicted because Kwankwaso still remain in the strong man there. We will get it right one day. Okay, you didn't put your... Okay, that's Triple D. Let me take this now and answer the calls. It's a pitiable situation in Nigeria under the watch of Mr. President. The nation turned to one-party state from Sylvester in New Nyanya. All right, thank you. Hello.
Yeah, hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Thank you. My name is Abdul calling from Jabi.
All right.
Please, the narrative on the respect of the Muslim or Christian, please, when we discuss this sensitive issue on the respect of one Nigeria, you are just to talk about Yakubu Gawan. During Yakubu Gawan, Nigeria is one Nigeria. That is what they are on agenda. Forget about Christian or Muslim. We are one Nigeria. The present politicians, they are the one that bring ethnicity, religion, and tribalism into the foundation of the 1999 that we start experiencing democratic dispensation. That is the reason why you see conflicts everywhere within the North. Why can't we try Christian ticket, if that is the case? We try the Muslim ticket. We have failed Nigerians in the respect of change. We came and put Nigerians into the hardship. 2 square meters today, most of Nigeria cannot be able to get it. If you are ending 50,000 naira or 100,000 naira, how much are you going to pay?
All right.
The rent you are living and the school fees of your own children. The same government of APC that they produce the Muslim ticket, they put Nigeria into the mess. So when we should talk about one Nigeria. Whoever is going to rule Nigeria, whether it's a Igbo, let's even try Obi.
All right.
And another person to be a president.
Thank you, Jamilu. Let's take other callers. Thank you so much. Just make your comments short and straight to the point. But I think Jamilu is talking from an ideal perspective. We're looking at the real, what is obtainable in Nigerian politics. I wish Nigeria would be one Nigeria. But is it really like that? We keep preaching these things. We look for it, but then in the practical sense of the word. Exactly. That's it. All right, let's take more callers. Hello. Hello.
Well, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Welcome on board.
Thank you.
This is Ben from Kabul.
All right, please go ahead. Make your comments straight and short to the point.
Yeah, I want to make a comment about your second headline. For me, Nigeria is a secular state. And as such, having a Muslim and Christian should not be a problem to anybody, be it a Christian, be it a Muslim, because everybody needs to have that sense of belonging. It works that they have, they go with a Muslim ticket and they were able to succeed. It doesn't mean it was right, or it doesn't mean they should succeed again. Everybody, this country belongs to anybody. If they not, is saying that Muslim is what they will go for. Then where is the unity?
All right.
Because we have different religion in this country, and everybody should be represented.
All right. Thank you. Everyone should be represented according to our last caller. Good afternoon. It was boring listening. Becky Trade Mall in the way it's Swat. My name is not Somi, okay? Okay. Good afternoon, Our Vocal Majesty. We have gained from Muslim ticket, increase in security, bad economy, high inflation, high cost of living, Christian genocide, etc. If APC goes on with same religion ticket, they will lose 2027 presidential election. There are pressures from within and outside the country to do the needful. Chima from Apple sent that in. Let's take this. Hello.
Well, good afternoon, Barrister Swat.
Good afternoon.
It's Mr. Gideon calling from Babalada.
Okay.
Barrister Swat, anybody who think that Tinubu won election because of Muslim ticket in 2023, he's just deceiving himself. It's not under that platform. We are Nigerians. We know what happened. And comes 2027, he's not going to win the election based on Muslim ticket. There are two chances that are left for him to win the election. Number two, if other parties present the northern candidates, Tinubu will win the election. Number two, by the power of incumbent president, he has power to do whatever he likes. He can win election. But in respect of Muslim ticket, Nigerians are wise based on the information and this thing that America, Donald Trump says recently.
All right.
This ticket cannot fly. We can't win election under that platform. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Gideon from Gwagwalada. In another 1 minute or so, we should be having the headline news. So let's not take a call and read some few messages before we go off for the news. The person who coined the word jumpology, Mr. Ehedu Anyagu, is the world record holder of jumpology. Is staunch PDP defector with his principal to APC. According to him, the reason being that when the test of palm wine changes, or the taste of palm wine changes, the drinking pattern also changed. To me, it is stomach infrastructure, says Leo. Hello, Swat. The problem is that most of our leaders do not understand what the political system is. They believe it is to do as the leader says, in as much as it will rub your palms. I think there should be a compulsory course for all elected officers that they must attend before they are voted for, and they must pass if they aspire to be in political office. The course can even be introduced at school set level with the option to retake after graduation if you are going into politics. We must create awareness of political system. It will go a long way to help our political system. Thank you so much. We will stop now for a break. For the news. Do stay with us. Don't go anywhere.
And Nigeria Info,
The hub for information.
current affairs, and more.
The president used his last Democracy Day address to talk about several issues, including security.
It is this same government that they started it. They don't obey court order.
Join the conversation.
Right here.
Let's talk.
And now, news from the nation's capital. This is Abuja Today.
There is heavy security presence around the FCTA Secretariat, Area 11, Gariki.